Okay, so hernia phase 2, a little delayed. I'm about 8 weeks post-op now, and I've been fine in the stomach area for probably a month, but I had a back hiccup there where I just had a freak, spasm, and had to take 10 days off of everything, and had to delay coming back and everything like that. It actually came out, I had a fracture back there, so I'm still dealing with that. But anyway, back now, and I'm gonna be sprinkling in my meals throughout this video of the current phase of eating. I went to 5 meals a day. I've always been a 6 meal a day guy, and always because that's what you thought that was needed. And I realized every time I try to put on size, and I was with the 6 meals, you'd start sleeping in longer, and your gym sessions take longer, so you're just rushing all the time. So you sleep in probably an extra 30 minutes or an extra hour, as the calories get higher. You start missing the non-negotiables, and I thought this was kind of specific to me. I thought it was kind of okay, dude, you're a bitch, get up, set your alarm, don't snooze it, but then I saw John Jewett talk about it, to where he made a post about red flags in an off season and why you should pull back maybe if you're starting to miss the non-negotiables. And I looked at that and I was like, I guess this isn't specific to me. If somebody of that caliber is pointing out that it's easy to miss non-negotiables whenever you may add too much food or too much gear too quick, that makes a whole lot of sense. So I kind of took that as okay, and this is not just specific to me. People do miss things, people do miss cardio, or do miss waist work, or things like that. So your non-negotiables when you first start bodybuilding might be to just straight up make the gym 5 days a week, or make sure all your meals are cooked, and make sure they're all getting eaten and you're following the plan. But as you progress longer and longer into bodybuilding, those things become second nature to you, to where you don't even think they're non-negotiables anymore. You're not going to cheat on your diet, you're not going to miss the gym. So as you start competing, start winning shows, start getting to the national level, start trying to move up on the national level, your non-negotiables become, I can't miss this cardio session this morning. I can't miss my step count. I can't miss my waist work. I can't miss my mobility work. I can't miss my core work after I train that's direct, or before I train, so I don't miss it. It just becomes a lot. So switching to the 5 meals for me, this current phase now, it's just so much easier for me to hit the cardio in the morning and not feel like I have to hurry up and get to meal 1, because I have 5 more to go and they're all very large. So if I could just do the 5, and I'm not freaking out about having them spaced out, I can take 3 hours at the gym, because a lot of times now it does take me 3 hours, to where, okay, I get there, I walk in the door, it's cold as hell now, I gotta take my coat off, get, situated, and then I get out, set up the hanging leg raises, or set up the side planks, or set up the things for stretching. And, the core work and the stretching work before I go to train might take me 20-30 minutes, and then I'm warming up for my session, and my session as a whole is going to take me 2 hours, sometimes even longer if it's legs. So I'm in almost 3 hours there, by the time I pack up and leave, I'm 3 hours in. If I was still eating 6 meals, spending 3 hours there, and it's just not, that's when I start missing things. That's when I, get there and I don't set up the stretching or the core work, or if I bring it to the end of the workout, I just go home because I have 3 more meals to eat, or I have 4 more meals to eat, and it's already, getting into the afternoon, late afternoon, so or the evening. So this is way better for me to control because I can't miss those non-negotiables now where I am. I'm not genetically gifted, and the mobility and the stretching and the core work is going to help me bring my waist in and make me appear to have a better taper, because it's not fantastic as it is, or else I would already be a professional at age 33. So these are things that I just can't miss. So this is the next phase. So I'm not doing anything with any gear escalations or anything like that. I'm just trying to relearn movements in the gym and actually stick to the same movements every time I go in and progress towards them. So I've never done that before. I've always just walked into the gym and just aimlessly picked things for body part. So I'm actually going to not even worry about escalating any gear or anything like that. I'm going to try to get the most out of this diet, progressive overload through my movements for each day, for each body part, and nailing the non-negotiables every day. So this is going to be phase 2, and I'll try to post an update of what I kind of look like now. I was 272 this morning, I think. So, and I think it's decent. It's still probably not where I was when I was 280, fully loaded, because that was just, on everything in sight. So I need to do this a little bit smarter coming off of this, and then when I do start adding in a little bit, it should actually translate to a much better look, to where, all right, yeah, I was 280, 285, 290, but I was all rolled forward in my shoulders, or I didn't have a great core, and I just think it's gonna translate much better to when I actually do step on stage again, hopefully next year. All right, let's take you through the current full day of eating. For reference, fasted about 273 pounds. And I should have pictures somewhere in this video. I'm editing it all mixed up. And I have pictures of all the meals. Meal 1, 1 whole egg, 475 egg whites, 3 pieces Ezekiel bread, 100-gram cream of rice, and 20 grams of honey, 20 grams of almond butter. So that's meal 1. And meal 2, 250 grams of chicken breast, 145 grams of sweet potato, 250 grams of rice, 110 grams of apple, 10 mils of olive oil. And then I have the everything intra here shown. That is the 50 grams of carbolin, the creatine, the glutamine, and the 20-gram Pepto-Pro shot somewhere in the middle of training. Meal 3, supposed to be 275 grams of ground bison, but for whatever reason, I guess it was the snowstorm we had a couple days ago, I could not find any ground bison, a flank steak, any grass-fed ground beef in the store. So this is sockeye salmon. You make it work. 350 grams of rice, 110 grams of apple. Meal 4, 3 whole eggs, 500 grams of egg whites, 90 grams sourdough, 80 gram cream of rice, 20 grams honey, and meal 5, 150 grams of chicken breast, or 165 grams of ground bison. This is the ground bison, actually. I'm filming this on a different day. 250 grams of rice. If I have the chicken, I do 5 mils of olive oil, but if I don't have the chicken and I have the fat from the ground bison, there's no olive oil to be needed there. And then a shake of 30 grams worth of whey isolate and 15 grams of natural peanut butter. So the totals on that: 5,613 calories, 116 grams of fat, 712 grams of carbs, 426 grams of protein. And I can feel that this is a decent amount. So we're doing 5,600 calories over 5 meals, over 1,000 a meal. So I feel them, but nothing we can't handle.